Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
Ghana to need 61 billion Ghana cedis savings from the domestic debt exchange program. Finance Minister says after meeting with external investors. So the government is expected to make a debt service savings of 61 billion Ghana cedis in 2023 and beyond. As part of the domestic debt exchange program, the Minister of Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, has stated, quote, overall, 203 billion Ghana cedis have been exchanged, which has resulted in a debt service savings of 61 billion Ghana cedis over 2023. He stated during an investor presentation as part of the World Bank International Monetary Fund meeting in Marrakech in Morocco. He said all the exchanges of domestic marketable debt plan as part of the DDEP had been completed and no further exchanges of domestic marketable debt was being considered. Quote again, the success of the comprehensive domestic debt exchange program illustrates the commitment of the Ghanaian people to contribute to the government's effort to restore debt sustainability, he stated. This should be some good news for the next 5 minutes. I'm doing 5 minutes each. I have promised to be able to read text messages. Honorable, let me begin this one.
Well, thank God.
10 minutes will take out. No, it will take us out of time frame.
No, the nature of the mess requires 10 minutes.
Well, I think that it's a refreshing news that finality has been brought on this debt exchange. There's been rumors of further debt exchange programs here and there. And that brought some unease on the Ghanaian investing community. And I think that once the minister has said that it has brought finality, there will not be any further debt exchange, as it were. It provides the government a very good opportunity, the time, space to be able to pay your debt that we're not able to pay as a result of reasons that we best know. I think that what is left, now that the indicators are pointing into a very positive direction, it will take time. Like we all said, it will take time for the economy to rebound, just like any other economy in this world. It will take time to rebound. And I think that what is necessary and what is important is managing the processes and managing our indicators to bring productive sectors of our economy on board fully to be able to pay our debt. Now, if you look at the stability of the exchange rate in the last few months, that has brought some respite in terms of the level at which our debt was accumulating. And of course, it has actually brought down the level of borrowing, because if you are borrowing in a dollar-denominated terms, and once the dollar rate is the differentials itself balloons your debt portfolio. So for the fact that we have had this stability in terms of the exchange, it means that government is becoming more responsible in the way it borrows. Then we are looking at the productive sectors of economy that will bring respite in terms of industrialization going forward. So I think that it hasn't been a very healthy journey for the investing community that has to exchange their debt for future payment and all that. What is important, that we must take steps as a country that in exchange of our debt for new instrument, we don't go back to where we're coming from. Now that you look at what is happening in the Middle East and America waging into it and all that, it has repercussions on our economy as it were. And I hope that the shocks we are building will be able to withstand some of these things that are going to come. If you look at the Middle East, that comes all the way to part of Africa. Definitely the spillover will feel it, because if Russia and Ukraine has been that tremendous on the impact of African or developing economies, even the global economy, Israel, Palestine, though it's been long-standing war, I pray that the shocks we are putting in place, these spillovers should not be able to shake in the foundations of what we are putting in place. And I'm happy that there's been consciousness of government in investing in agriculture, trying to rope in the young people, that the returns and dividends that we are looking at are quite remarkable. That if you're able to secure land banks, go into agro-processing, industrialization, produce most of the things that we feed on in this country, That is the only way this economy, because over-dependence on importation of basic staple foods. If you look at the Planting for Food and Job Phase 2, that the youth are playing a very cardinal point. Let me say this. For the first time, we are doing 2 young people be given 10-acre land. And then aggregator will give you all the input for 5 years. Each year, 20% of your harvest will be deducted to pay for the input that you are given. And the rest is your profit. And the land, 10 acres for 2 people. You're going to do that for 5 years and you own the land. You're going to do that for 5 years and you own the land. The interesting part of this is that whilst you till the land and work, a monthly stipend will be given to you as a youth in agriculture. And I think that the most important thing, and there is for farmers, young farmers, youth, and then there's a ready market for whichever produce you make. Then companies into agro-processing will be buying and processing, creating jobs for people who are not in the farms. And I think this is an innovation, and we must encourage this to take away our young people from the street and from unemployment in our country. I think that if you look at rice and the voting base in what is happening today is a huge problem to some of us because of the potential of rice cultivation in this area where government is directing its attention to. That is why we must save and secure lands. And government is in the process of acquiring a lot of large parcels of land banks for these farming youth in our country. And that is the only way we can all contribute. We must change our taste as a Ghanaian. What we wear, what we eat. These are things you do on a daily basis. And the more you feed on foreign import, what it means is that you are creating jobs for someone's economy. Why are we overly dependent and seeking for foreign exchange to be able to meet our import demands? So if the import demands goes down, what it means is that your demand for foreign exchange will drastically come down. If it comes down, your dollar will have the strength. Then when you have more than you require as a country in terms of your production, you begin to look at other markets. That is why AFTA becomes very necessary, where you have a single market. That what you produce here, you now have the biggest single market in Africa. You can export your produce there and you make some foreign exchange. Then your CD becomes very strong. Then issues of shocks, external shocks on your economy will be minimized. It doesn't mean that you will not live within the global economy. However it comes, there are countries that have built stronger shocks that in the event of global shocks, they are able to withstand it. So I think that is a refreshing news. The minister should be able, and I'm happy that the IMF team that visited, based on the second tranche of the IMF bailout that we were seeking, the conditions and the parameters they've put in place, Ghana's workings have shown that we are on path of recovery and we are qualified to get the second tranche. You don't get the second tranche because you've signed up for $3 billion. You get the second tranche because you meet certain preconditions that have been set out. And Ghana has met all those conditions. That is why we are going to get the second tranche. And I'm happy because there's been a noise and confusion about whether or not we are done completely with the debt exchange. Once the minister had said so, I believe the minister. I trust that the finality has been brought onto these matters. And then we'll not have people picketing here and there. They will be paid when it's due. So this is a refreshing moment for all of us.
Okay. So, first of all, I've always been praying when this Hamas-Israel started that government communicators are going to move from COVID-19, Russia, Ukraine, and possibly now blame the Israeli-Hamas problem for.
Don't quote me out of context.
What did you say?
I said, and this is what I said, that we live in a global economy. What is happening today has effect, but we must build our shops so that this effect will not be overtaken.
And so that's my prayer.
Yeah, so
that you don't
please.
add Israel
but
you the reason for the
you were blaming pirates. Now, was blaming pirates in 2014.
Now, you see, the storyline that government of Ghana had made savings of 600 or 60 billion. Is that 60 billion?
61 billion.
Completely misleading.
The information
is completely misleading.
Coming from the finance minister.
Completely misleading. At best, deception. Look, within 4 years, okay, you went to the Eurobond markets and borrowed $11 billion in 4 years. If you add the 2017 Franklin Templeton bond, it makes it $13 billion in the space of 5 years. Now, when the time had come for you to repay, that's the interest and principal, you have given indication to them that you have no capacity to pay. And so the people should allow you to restructure, either increase the tenor, the interest rates, or take a haircut on the principal. Then you call it a savings. How is that a savings? What have you saved? You've only deferred your obligations. How is that savings? So the whole thing is complete deception. And this government consistently believe that they can even PR themselves from this economic mess. You can't. As I speak to you, Reuters have just reported that government of Ghana, in terms of the external debt, we need to restructure almost 20 billion out of the 30 billion. You are now begging China, the Paris Club, okay, to allow you to restructure their debt. And in some instances, you are telling them that you do 30 to 40% haircut on principal. They have not even agreed yet. And you are saying that we are on the way for getting a second tranche. Do you know what is really going on? Go and read Reuters today. Today's report of Reuters is there. That you are proposing to the investor community 30 to 40% haircut on their principal. They are not done with that conversation yet, and you are here talking about savings. What have you saved? If you owe someone and you defer the repayment, how is that a savings? Or you've forgotten the basics of this conversation. And my friend says, oh, stability of the exchange rate and so and so. My brother, one of the major sources of the pressure, the downward pressure on the cedi, has always been the issue of interest payment and amortization. And so if you have a situation where you are effectively not servicing your debts, you are not paying, you have moved into the realms of mint, I can't pay, I have mismanaged the economy is bankrupt, I do not have the capacity to repay the principal and interest. And you say stability. If you are not paying your interest, the city will definitely demonstrate that. Because usually, what government of Ghana does is to use the cedi to purchase dollar in order to pay your debt. Now, if you are no longer paying your debt, there will be relative stability. Because anybody who has done basic economics will tell you that the demand and supply of the foreign currency, that is what creates the stability issue for the city. You are not doing any of this. And look, the historical numbers will show that consistently from 2017, this government basically gets $2 billion annually to shore up the city. So you notice that in 2017, they did the 2.25. 2018, they did 2 billion. 2019, 3 billion. 2020, 3 billion. In all, 11 billion. 2022, when we were downgraded by the rating agencies, you know what they decided to do? They started a fallback on Bank of Ghana. So Bank of Ghana now, took the position of investor communities and started printing money for the government. So in 2022 alone, we did in excess of 40 billion Ghana cedis. Almost like 3 billion, which we have been doing annually. How is this a prudent management of the economy? And at the helm of this is Dr. Bawumia. Today,
I knew this.
Today, Dr.
Finance Minister has made a statement. Finance Minister has made a statement. You can't discuss it today, without mentioning Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia no longer talks about the economy. Do you think that if the economy has done so well, the poster boy on the economy by now will be all over the place gloating? Suddenly, This man is running away from the economy and talking about digitalization. And that is why, if you listen to Kenneth Japan in Western region as he's campaigning, he's made the point that if you are the chair of the economic mismanagement team and you mismanage the economy to this level, the same person cannot come and say, I'm proffering a solution on how to salvage an economy that you have destroyed. An economy that had a lot of financial buffers that were enough to get foreign investors to come and, as it were, invest in this economy. Today, we have become a symbol, a signpost of how not to manage an economy. And this is classical Bawumia for you. Destroy the economy. Look, in the space of 8 years, the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia administration have completely wiped away the middle class.
So, finance minister has made a statement.
Please.
I thought we are discussing that statement. Now you can't finish your statement.
I have 2 more minutes.
Why are you the timekeeper?
Why are you
Are you the timekeeper? Are you the timekeeper?
Let me go to SMS.
Yeah.
You gave me 5 minutes.
But you've spoken for 7 minutes. You've spoken for 7 minutes. You've spoken for 7 minutes. No, you've spoken for 7 minutes. Please, you've spoken for 7 minutes.
Do you know that?
You've spoken for 7 minutes.
Pensions.
As you speak what?
Workers' pensions.
You've spoken for 7 minutes.
This government is.
I want going to get 2 minutes. You've spoken for 7 minutes.
I'm looking for my text message to begin.
He's spoken for 7 minutes already. He's gotten to the 8 minutes.
Okay.
The opportunity Bawumia got and destroy this economy.
So Bawumia's opportunity is different from Akufo-Addo's opportunity.
I'm highly disappointed in the Akufo-Addo. People of Volta region are suffering, and your message to them, among other things, is that I shouldn't be here because you don't vote for me. This is ridiculous statement and available. It's actually confirmed what Chairman Wontumi said about the good people of Volta region. I hope this committee won't be an avenue for chop. Musa Abattoir said that one. Akwesi, good morning. Nana Akufo-Addo should apologize to the people of the Volta region for the reckless comments. He must be speaking like a president and not like a serial caller. For Alhaji Haruna, a shy man, sent in that one. Tafai Namrahia says, Kwesi, president comments is unacceptable. Nobody should try to justify or explain to us what the president has said. He shouldn't have spoken about politics in the front of people who have lost everything they have, including their homes, farms, and animals, all gone. Kwesi, good morning. I hope you're not allowing yourself to be used by the NDC propaganda to attack my reputation. I have proven with documents to Sami Jemfi. Okay, so this is my very senior man, Donald. And we had mentioned his in the entire. So Donald sends the message. I have proven with documents to Sami Jemfi on countless occasions that my company did no wrong, but he still spewed this propaganda. I'm seeking legal advice on my next line of action. So be careful. Donald, very well noted. Good morning to you. I hope you are doing.
CNG Alaska. Is that him?
Yes, that's him. Yes, that is him.
So the picture that were shown.
Alhaji Hamza, big fan, says, good morning, my brother. Truth be told, I'm so disappointed in the comments made by the president yesterday in Volta region, and I did hear Honorable Sly say we should applaud the president for the speech. Honorable Sly, I have a lot of respect for you based on your principles, but this morning I disagree with you big time. Mr. President, for God's sake, has a responsibility to improve the living conditions of the citizens. Mr. President, for God, and also the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, and he has a responsibility to protect the lives of citizens. I would cut it there. Margaret says, good morning, gentlemen. Special regards to my director, legal. Akwesi, I can understand how Sly is trying so hard this morning to justify his inclusion in the Bawumia FC. It is usually not easy for players whose favorite coach resigns to go independent. Margaret and say, Magu sent in
the team.
A star player.
I'm a star player in the Bawumia FC.
He's on the
reserve. So, David Obri Yeboah says, what makes Edudzi think that the he has the right to insult the president at any given opportunity. Even Mahama, he respects him. When NDC MPs were going around telling the people of the Volta region that President Akufo-Addo hasn't gone there because the place is an NDC stronghold, hasn't Mahama benefited from and still be benefiting from his sweat? Hasn't Mahama insulted Ghanaians than any other president? Have you heard the level of insults from any MPP member on Mahama, like Edudzi is sitting there pontificating? Wow. Edudzi should know that he is only talk to his father like that. He's talking so loosely on primetime TV. Really? They hide behind politics and speak gibberish on the elderly people. He should pray. We, the young men in the MPP, won't sit and watch Edudzi and his likes to insult the president at all. He adds His Excellency when he's referring to Mahama and calls the sitting president Mr. Akufo-Addo. If he doesn't respect, he should be told that he's disgracing himself on set. A whole lawyer disgracing himself like this. If the young man can insult the elders,
so when I call him
enough
Mr.
to be his grandfather on live TV. David Ubriabua, Dom Kwabenya sent in that one. McLean Desmond says, while it is valid to genuinely criticize and raise concerns about the current state of our economy, it is equally important for our friends in the NDC to present alternative solutions. We can all engage in meaningful discussions and work towards a collective vision for a prosperous Ghana. We in the NPP believe that open and constructive dialogue is very essential for our country's progress. The NDC as a political party should be able to share their alternatives so we can collectively evaluate and refine ideas, identify areas of common ground, and work towards a shared vision for the economic development of Ghana. They should move beyond mere criticism and focus on presenting viable solutions that can shape a brighter future for our nation. It is becoming the same noise yesterday and today. McLean Desmond from Seshi, we also sent in that one. Samuel, I'll pick this one for the last one and be able to go for break. Samuel Brian Boabin says, Kwesi, Edudzi peddled falsehood after raining insults on the president. This incident marks the sixth occurrence of spillage, with the most recent one dating back to 2010. The government remains dedicated to providing proper care for those affected and ensuring the structural integrity of the Akosombo Dam and Adome Bridge. Simultaneously, we are actively working on a lasting solution to address the spillage issue. Residents of the Volta region have reaped significant benefits from the MPP, a party they typically vote against. You don't need to be an expert in rocket science or quantum mechanics to grasp this fact. No matter how many insults are directed at His Excellency, the President Akufo-Addo and the Vice President, it will not bring back Mahama back to power to the Jubilee House. This strategy failed in 2016 and 2020, and it is unlikely to succeed in 2024. Samuel Brian Boabin Aushi sent in that one. Why does Edudzi enjoy propaganda like that? Doesn't he fear gospel? What wrong did Akufo-Addo do? Manche Bruce and Takra, they sent in that one. Trent is on standby. I have to be able to quickly go for Trent. Thank you very much for. PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.